prolonged sitting will have your spine turn from this into this, which is, well, it's not great. So sitting is pretty bad for us. How do we fix it? Hey everyone, welcome to Body Language. This is a video podcast that aims to dissect the intricacies of the human body. I'm Neha, and I've always been fascinated by the human body and its continual pursuit of keeping us alive. I'm by no means an expert, and I'm actually a really big fan of keeping things simple. So, with the help of doctors and specialists in the field, this podcast aims to break down the complexities that surround medical sciences into something more digestible for everyone. I hope you enjoy. I'm recording this video sat down. When I wrote this video, I was sat down. And when I edit this video, I will be sat down. Chances are that watching this video, you are also sat down. According to the official NHS website, many adults in the UK have reported that they spend 9 hours of their day sat down. And no, this does not include time spent sleeping. 9 hours is a massive portion of the day. It's over a third of the day. But when you think about it, it does make sense. We sit down to eat, drive, work, watch TV, use a computer, do homework, play video games. So it does add up. There's no question that sitting is the new sedentary epidemic of our time. As our lifestyles have evolved, so too has the amount of time that we spend seated, whether at work, during commutes, or in leisure activities. The reality is that our bodies are not designed for such prolonged inactivity. In this video, I want to discuss the impact that sitting for an extended period has on our bodies, with a specific focus on how sitting impacts our spine. One really important side note I want to get across first is that too much sitting is not the same as too little exercise. This means that even if you are someone that exercises regularly, sitting for long periods of time will still negatively affect your health. The harmful effects of sitting are different from the harmful effects of not getting enough exercise. So you can meet your daily exercise goals, but still face health risks if you spend the rest of your day sat down. Therefore, it's important to do both. Exercise regularly and reduce the amount of time you spend sat down. Anyways, here's the impact of sitting on the spine. The spine is a complicated structure. It's composed of vertebrae, muscles, ligaments, and nerves, all working together to support the body's weight, facilitate movement, and protect the spinal cord. It consists of 33 vertebrae stacked on top of one another, separated by invertebral discs. These vertebrae are categorized into 5 regions: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal. The cervical spine comprises 7 vertebrae. The thoracic spine has 12, and the lumbar spine consists of 5. While the coccygeal and sacral regions are fused together to form the sacrum and coccyx respectively. Ligaments and muscles surround these vertebrae, which provide stability, facilitating movement. The spine has its own natural curvatures, called cervical lordosis, thoracic kyphosis, and lumbar lordosis. The spine being curved this way helps it to optimally distribute body weight, absorb shock, and maintain balance. One of the primary impacts of prolonged sitting on the spine is the alteration of these curvatures. As mentioned before, the spine normally exhibits these 3 different curvatures: cervical lordosis, the slight inward curve of your neck; thoracic kyphosis, the outward curve of the upper back; and lastly, lumbar lordosis, the inward curve of the lower back. The problem with prolonged sitting, particularly when the person has bad posture, which, let's be honest, we all have awful posture, especially when we're like hunched over a laptop. The problem is that it can disrupt these natural curves of the spine. In the lumbar spine, poor sitting posture often leads to flattening of the normal lordotic curve. This flattening puts increased pressure on the invertebral discs located between the vertebrae. Normally, these discs act as shock absorbers, and they're supposed to distribute forces evenly throughout the spine and the spinal cord. However, prolonged sitting, especially when we do it in the slouched position, can really compress the front of the discs, while simultaneously stretching and weakening the posterior ends of the discs and the muscles. Over time, this uneven pressure and the stress forced onto the discs can contribute to disc degeneration. This is where the discs lose their elasticity and height, which can potentially lead to conditions such as disc bulges or herniations, which are really, really painful. These herniated discs can then go on to compress nearby nerves, causing really bad pain because right by the herniated discs is the spinal cord, which is essentially a large group of nerves. The result is pain or numbness or weakness in the lower back, a condition which is commonly referred to as sciatica. In the thoracic region of the spine, prolonged sitting with a rounded upper back, so being hunched over a desk, can exaggerate thoracic kyphosis, where the natural outward curvature becomes more pronounced. Medically, this is known as hyperkyphosis. This excessive rounding of the upper back can lead to stiffness, discomfort, and also muscular imbalances. The muscles and ligaments supporting the thoracic spine may become straightened and tight as a result of this, contributing to chronic upper back pain and also reducing flexibility in the spine. Poor sitting posture often involves forward head posture, where the head just kind of juts forward from the neck rather than being aligned right over the shoulders. This forward head posture places additional strain onto the cervical spine region and its supporting structures. The muscles at the back of the neck may become strained or overstretched and weakened, while the muscles at the front of the neck have the opposite effect. This imbalance in the neck can also lead to cervical disc herniation, like mentioned before, which results in neck pain, headaches, and reduced range of motion in the neck. Overall, bad posture and prolonged sitting will have your spine turn from this into this, which is, well, it's not great. Beyond the structural changes to the spine, prolonged sitting can also impact the circulation of blood and nutrients to spinal tissues. Sitting for long periods reduces blood flow to muscles surrounding the spine and also the discs of the spine, limiting the delivery of oxygen and necessary nutrients for tissue health and repair. So sitting is pretty bad for us. How do we fix it? In order to mitigate the negative effects of sitting, prolonged sitting specifically, there are a few things that we can do. First, and most importantly, take breaks. Stand up. Maybe for every 30 minutes you spent sat down, just stand up for a second and give your legs a stretch and give your spine a break. Secondly, and I know that I said exercise and sitting are mutually exclusive, but engaging in physical activities that strengthen your core muscles will really help to support your overall spinal health. I don't necessarily mean focus on exercise that give you visible ab muscles. I mean, try to focus on exercise that tone muscles around the spine, such as your oblique muscles and the deep abdominal, like the really deep abdominal core muscles that just sit around your spine. Doing so will give you good spinal stability, and your spine won't bend as much every time you try to move because the muscles around it are there to keep it in place. Combination of these two things should help you to minimize the negative effects of prolonged sitting on your spine and hopefully improve your posture and maybe even alleviate some back pain. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing and also comment any other topic ideas or areas of interest regarding medical sciences that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video. If not, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.